What's up, everyone? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind-the-bar reviews for 7 Deadly Sins, Chapter 316. Now, there's been something that I have talked about in multiple videos, multiple different reviews and stuff, and I believe I even brought it up in the last Boar's Hat and my last review of this series in particular, is the usage of cover pages, and the uses especially of the fact that Nakaba, every chapter, answers us a question near like the second to last page sort of idea, and he answers a fan requested, an email or a mailed in question, and he answers it. So we're not going to get into that question right now, but this chapter this is one of the biggest problems that I said about 7 Deadly Sins, at least if it wasn't the last review, I've said it in other videos, is that they have a lot of world building lacking, and they have a lot of, the potential is there and it's never utilized. And the thing is that I understand that you cannot just deviate from your story to do a bunch of this, that, and the other thing. But cover pages, this is how Oda gets around this, is cover pages, SBSs, questions. He gets around it by building the world outside of it. You just need to go and look for it. With 7 Deadly Sins having the capacity to have a grand world filled with all this wonder and different history and different stuff, Nakaba has honestly most of the time failed to utilize this very ingenious way of building up lore and world building and such, right? But this chapter, I don't know if he's been watching my reviews or something, but this chapter, he goddamn well listened to both points, because he utilizes the cover page not to show us something, but to tell us something. We get a direct paragraph information dump all about this Endora. And I'm like, yes, this is what a cover page should be doing. We should be learning so much about so many different things from the cover pages with just a sentence or two alone. And here, we're going to have to talk about this cover page, because we see this Endora. Now, this is the Endora of Favor. There's the Endora of, I forget what the other ones are. There were sketches of them. The one from the Sky movie, that one was in one. And some of the other ones, you might like, oh, I think that this might be a version of that, or whatever, right? So, this is something that I've brought up, and I've been shot down on, not by everyone, but when it was brought up, all about the Endora, right? There are apparently true Endora, and then what Derriere and Monspeak did, which was tear out 6 of their own hearts to become a pseudo Endora, is what some of the fan base have been calling it. I totally dismissed all that and said, no, they were becoming Endora. They were no better or worse than the Endora talked about, the beasts of destruction. They were becoming that. They weren't called Neo, Endora. They weren't called Baby Endora, like that stupid, the sproutings things that happened last chapter. They were referred to as, and it was our first revelation of these guys, was they were Endora, beasts of destruction. High-ranking demons tear out 6 of their 7 hearts. You have a power level over 50,000. You become Endora. That's how it works. And here, it's almost completely explained that is exactly what every Endora is. Endora aren't their own entity in that sense. There isn't true Endora that were always a beast, and then you have these the 10 Commandments which do this, because this Endora here, it is stated, had the Endora of Favor was once a 10 Commandment. Now that brings up a lot of questions. That brings up is this Calmadios or Clamadios? Is this Zeno or Aranak or whatever? The Zeno and Aranak being the two that Meliodas killed, and then we saw spying on this conversation between Zeldris and Meliodas, we can assume. Those were the two that he killed before he peaced and went over to Stigma and with Elizabeth and stuff before he ceased being the leader of the 10 Commandments. So, according to all this stuff, now this could be a translation thing, but I don't think it is. It states that the Endora of Favor is so powerful, it was not just a high-ranking demon, it was once one of the 10 Commandments itself, and all this stuff, and we know that is a very limited number. So, this just proves that this true Endora here was once again one of the 10 Commandments. So what Monspeak and Derriere did while they were transforming, and remember, they were transforming. They were in process, sure, but I never got the thought base, and I argued a few times with some fans of the series, that there isn't such a thing as true Endora. They were becoming that, and some people wanted to separate the two as two separate categories for some reason. I don't know why. But suffice it to say, this I was so happy to read that because I was like, yes, what I thought was right. And that, of course, with that feeling of being right is always wonderful. But I was so happy. Once again, I just need to really hammer this point home. So happy that the cover page was utilized. We are still, as far as I'm aware, we're still near the end of the series. So right now, this is the time we need that expo dump. We need that dumping, you know? So anyways, we move on to the rest of the chapter. Now, once again, another thing of being right here. King, like they're doing the bumblebee thing, and you know Merlin's doing her shit, and yeah. Oh, we don't have moves that can hit up that high. Okay. Your ground gladius is about as tall as a small mountain. I don't think those things are that high yet. Just pointing it out there, like that. And you're telling me that the woman who biffed like 4 7 Deadly Sins all the way to Castle Leonis couldn't maybe, like, hey, Gother, boop. And then Gother goes up there and, like, you know, sacred treasure release, blackout arrow or something. Like, really? Like, Gother and Gother has a bow. Like, you telling me Gother, like, Merlin's staying there on the ground going bang. You telling me that Gother is not a good, like, marksman? Like, this didn't make sense, this line about referring that Deanne and Gother are basically useless because these things are in the air. That I was like, no, I don't accept that reasoning. I just don't. But here's where I was right, is that King brings up the fact that I'm going to have to use Sunflower. I'm like, yes, hyper beam them. There ain't going to be any of them. They're going to start, like, spreading out. This bumblebee thing is great, but your Sunflower would just decimate, done, right? Now, a great reasoning is, however, brought up, and I didn't consider this. The villages, the land, the animals that live there, potentially innocents close by, may or may not get caught up in the blast. And that's not a risk they're willing to take. But then King says, well, what else can I do? We can't let these things spread out because then it's going to be a catastrophe. And that's when Bond basically says, boop, leave it to me. He goes up there, everyone's like, is that his sacred treasure? You know, and it's like, okay, Bond's got a sacred treasure. This sacred treasure to me feels not broken, but odd. Because apparently, like, he can use a new move called Assault Hunt, and it looks awesome. It's like a bigger version of Fox Hunt. And he uses the ability Sacred Treasure Release Maximum Concentration, where he basically concentrates because this sacred treasure basically increases his accuracy, his speed, and his attack power or his pinpoint accuracy and all that stuff, right? So, okay, that's fine. I mean, it feels like a Diablo, like, 3 sacred weapon would be, right? Like a legendary ancient weapon for that. Your attack speed would be plus 5%, and your strength would go up by 400, and your vitality would do this, and your this would do that, right? Okay, I can accept that. I can accept that pretty good. But this borders on ridiculousness because he stays in one spot. These things are spanning out. That thing is only, unless they're going to tell me that thing is like Gini Chimaru's sword and it can extend 13 damn kilometers in an instant and back. How is he destroying all these things where King was in the middle of it, bumblebeeing around, and he wasn't because they were going too far away. They were spreading out too fast, like a swarm of locusts. Bond just jumps in the middle and and he pulls some like King Char, fist, 100 fists sort of idea. But he's in that one spot and it spreads out and spreads out and spreads out and spreads out. And I'm like, they're not showcasing that he's like moving between everyone super fast like a Yoruichi or a Goku would do, right? They're showcasing him basically his attack, like he's creating an ominous nebula ball of attacks, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But his weapon is only X long, right? So does this thing extend? Or are we led to believe that he moves like super fast or something? Or that like time stops when he attacks and he jumps? Like, it's not making a whole lot of sense to me how this is happening. Or at the very least, I understand the concept. It's just not showcased the way it's said. It doesn't make sense the way it's shown. That he basically stands there and just, whoa, So yeah, I mean, I still thought it was pretty cool. The assault hunt thing was still pretty badass. That looked really cool. And then after that, after he's done with that, we see that he's like, oh, well, I haven't used this in a long time and stuff. And everyone's like, wow, with your body like that, you're able to extend this to crazy levels. And I can accept that once again. Bond is trained in purgatory. I can accept that he could do something crazy like attack them all at once faster than the naked eye, but that's not what we saw in the panels. That's just why I'm a little confused. I have no doubt that he could just and jump between them all in midair and just strike them all before the naked eye could catch it. I'm okay with that. It's just that that's not what I saw. So by the panel, at least not the way I took it. So apparently he hasn't used it in a long time and he doesn't know his own strength, and he missed one actually. I'm like, okay, only one that so happens to be heading towards Leonis. That's fine. That's plot. That's fine. And then the actual Endora gets mad and starts attacking, and they basically all just go all out. We have Spirit, Chastiful. We have, not Exterminate Ray, but Shock Stinger or something by Merlin. We have this Assault Hunt move that struck them all in a maximum concentration, maximum attack speed, maximum this, and Bond is just walking towards this thing and decking the crap out of it. It was cool that Deanne actually did something. She ground Gladys one of the heads and stuff, and like that looked really cool. But other than that, they're just fighting this thing, and we haven't seen what it can actually do to them yet. After this, we jump over to the rest of the chapter, and the rest of the chapter, there are things to definitely talk about. Because after that, all we ended up seeing is that one Endora. We jumped away from the battle, and we don't go back to Meliodas and Elizabeth and the Demon King right yet, so we're not seeing any more of that blood-stained Ellie with some, I'm hoping, a decent explanation as to why. But no, we jump over to actually the DBZ side cast. We jump over to Gilthunder, Hauser, and Griever. We jump over to them. You know, just about as useful as Yamcha and Krillin in Dragon Ball Z. So they go there and they do something that, once again, is something that Taizai. You know what I have a problem with is that Taizai was built up, a lot of it, with these like combination attacks and these like Trinity attacks and these like, we're going to work together and I'm going to add my magic to yours in unique ways, not just like, okay, I'm going to attack with my Kamehameha and you attack with your Gallic gun from two sides or something like that. Nothing like that. It usually combine the powers and use them to devastating effect and increase, you know, tenfold what we could do on our own, stuff like that. And it was heavy in the first couple arcs. Then it started to fall off the wayside, and even when they did it, they were always failed. Like they always, all these combination attacks, always like, this is our ultimate attack, you know, that we can possibly pull off. And then they would fail. Like, does anybody else notice that? Like, all the combo attacks seem to have been failing lately over just the past two arcs, I find. They have seriously started to fail ever since the Ten Commandments were introduced. Or more so the later half of the Ten Commandments, once Meliodas comes back to life. So, yeah, and this one's no different. Like, this looks awesome. Like, Hexagonal Graveyard. I'm like, what a badass name for an attack. A TRinny Attack between the trio of Forgotten Human characters, right? You have Hauser, you have Griever, and you have Gilthunder, who all should have been so much stronger because it's training, but never mind. So what they basically do is he uses, Griever, of course, uses his shield magic, wall, and he, you know, Hexagon makes a stop sign around them but leaves the top open. Then Gilthunder and Hauser combining their two attacks, Rising Tornado and of course Lightning King Ironhammer, and they make basically a lightning tornado inside that cube confined, and the only way for them to do it is like outside of it, they pinpoint it inside the shield so the thing can't escape and it just gets shredded, right? That's the idea. No, that doesn't happen. It breaks the shield, knocks Griever. Why does Griever is the only one who wears that damn helmet? Like, stop wearing that helmet, dude. It looks stupid. You look stupid, and you always end up like losing it right away, anyways. And they get floored, and then that's when they're like, "Damn, we can't do anything." This thing with that was like an egg with spider, you know, legs on it or lobster legs. Seems to have now a mouth with a venom tongue thing, but it's a sword. That's weird. So yeah. Anyways, they. Simply put, they can't fight this thing. You know, they just can't fight it. And Hauser basically says, you know, I really wish the Seven Deadly Sins were here. We might need their help. And Gilthunder says, stop it. We are still Holy Knights. We cannot depend on them for everything. What would happen if they weren't here? You know, we need to be the ones to defend our kingdom. I'm like, I mean, I might be adding a little bit to the quote, but that's basically what he's saying. I'm like, yeah, Gilthunder, you go stand up there. You were a badass in the first couple of chapters, and then, well, the rest of the series happened. But at the end of the day, he's still cool, and all these characters, some people even love Griever. I mean, I don't really have a problem with them. And Hauser's fine, and Guild Thunder was cool, so, he's still cool. It's just that he's kind of useless, similar to how, like, Yamcha Tien used to be cool, and now, well, Anyways, so, suffice it to say that here's where things go down. Here's where things get interesting. And the Endora attacks. Baby Endora here, which is such a stupid name. Baby Endora attacks again. And then, bing! Who shows up? Who shows up? Who do you think it is? Who else could show up and do something like this? Is it someone like Matrona? Is it someone like, I don't know, Gerhard? Somebody else like another ally or something? Oh, it's an ally. It's an ally. He prayed for the 7 deadly sins to show up. And young Link goddamn heard his call, because young Link shows up, Kokiri sword in hand, and a Hylian shield without anything on it, ready to go down, right? Yeah, it's Escanor. It's weakened, no sunshine, which Hauser points out. It's no sunshine, Escanor, weak as hell. But somehow, even though it pierced the shield, that attack, the attack from the Baby Endora pierced the shield and hit him, he seems to just cough up some blood. And he's like, no, it's still my job. I can't just sit and be powerless. Like, I am still a knight. I'm still one of the 7 deadly sins. And this is our fight. I'm part of the fight. And, it's my job to protect you. I don't have much time left. You guys all have bright futures ahead of you. So this is once again implying that he's dying regardless of sunshine or not. Once again, I think that sunshine was actually staving off him dying. I don't think, even if it indirectly started to cause it, once again, Eddie Brock, Venom, got cancer, but the symbiote actually keeps him alive rather than killing him. Deadpool, same idea, whatever. So I'm under that impression until we hear otherwise. But it could be as simple as the fact that by possessing sunshine, it ended up poisoning him, and now that he doesn't have it, he's just dying. He's just dying at a fast rate. Possible, right? But yeah, so, I made the Young Link reference, but this is actually something, I believe it was chapter, 164, 168, something like that. We've actually seen him, and he was riding like Demon Hawk or something like that. I know some people posted it in the Reddit and the Discord, Grimm's Discord as well, there was a cover page or a little art piece where he was wearing all this armor, and he had the little sword and the shield and stuff. So this is a callback to that, where he was riding like Demon Horn Hawk or something. That was pretty cool, right? So he actually does have this uniform. He is there, and this is Escanor, man. Escanor, once again, I have always been a fan of nighttime Escanor. I don't get why people don't like him. I really, really don't. Like, they don't like him because he's not prideful Escanor. That's why they don't like him. As another character, he's funny, he's fine, he's chivalrous, he writes poetry. He is literally the classic English knight. He does the poetry readings. He writes them. He, regales people, and he's all like, oh, how may I serve you, madame? He's the one to hold the door for all the ladies, right? He's always been like that. And he's not really ever even a coward. Like, some people have said that, like, he's too cowardly. He's not. And once again, like, I don't see an instance where he's really cowardly. He's always just like Luigi in Luigi's Mansion, like, oh my god, I'm going to die here. Wow, this is scary. But you don't see him running away and be like, I must find someone to help. I can't do anything. Oh my god, I wish I wasn't here. You never hear him self-loathing himself, like, I wish I had power. I'm so useless. Well, like, he always does it in a more constructive way. He's like, I know my limitations in this form. I know I can't do anything right now. So he either stalls for time, he does it for comedic effect, but he's never one of those characters. People see him as that basic character who, like, talks a big talk and then can't do shit. But he never talks that big talk. He always admits, like, no, it's nighttime. I'm just me. I'm just a normal human who has normal fears, a normal person, right? So, and here he's showcasing that, yeah, but I'm still a knight, and when push comes to shove, and there isn't another way out with sunshine. Sunshine was always his way out. He doesn't have it anymore. He's still a knight, still the end of the world. He's got to stand up with a sword and fight. Okay, I'm good with it. Escanor's still awesome. Escanor is he's not a well-developed character. I don't think anybody can say that because we just don't have enough about him. But Every single time he shows up, even here in non-manly mode. I am hyped for this. I want to see what he can actually do. Does he have, is it time for the third is a charm thing? Is it time for, okay, Meliodas, you have an original power. Now Zeldris, you have an original magical power. Everybody gets an original magical power. Well, no, we stopped at those two. Now, well, technically the original sinner, but that was more of a thing. And now, so is it really third time's a charm? Are we finally going to see what ESCANOR was what his potential was before Sunshine overtook it? It was like an overridden thing. Sort of like how Meliodas uses full counter and not his original magical power. Still don't know what it is, but he never used that. He always used a spell called full counter, and people would just take that. That's his power. So, hard to say. I'm really interested to see what he's going to do and how this is going to go down. Some people are summarizing that Mail's going to show up and save the day after he gets beat, or Mail will gift him back Sunshine, or something totally. I'm hoping for something like left field. I'm hoping for something crazy to happen. I'm hoping for, and here, even at the end of that, right, the end of the chapter, I talked about this before at the beginning with the cover page and stuff and the answering of questions. Finally, he answers a good goddamn question. Nakaba, I know you're watching these because you are seriously. Every idea I've posed in the last 2 weeks, you have taken them and you have made each chapter better as a result of that. You have utilized the Dragon Ball Z trio. You have brought ESCANOR back into the fold. You have utilized cover pages. And you have answered a relevant question. Where is Rosa? You guys don't remember Rosa? I've made some theory videos about her. Right, like right here. Is she Rita? Is she the Supreme Deity? Is she the Sunshine? We know from the commandments having some form of a willpower, the more they gathered, and the graces are more about quality rather than quantity, potentially. And remember, this is the person that found him, the goddess symbol on her hand and all that stuff, or something similar on her finger. Like, there's so much potential for who is Rosa. Is she actually Sunshine in human form? And that's why she apologized, I'm sorry, and stuff like that. Is she, she could be so many number of people. And what is Nakaba say? Whether she is alive or dead is unknown because ESCANOR's old kingdom has fallen. Okay. Not only, now we got 2 pieces of lore. Not just from that one question. Nakaba, do this more often, man. Stop wasting time. I don't give a shit about the people who love lollies and chibis and the whole panties or not thing. I don't care. This is shit I care about. I am invested. This chapter was great for the stuff on the side. The cover page and the question answering made the chapter almost like this is an 8 out of 10 chapter for me. It really is, or maybe even a 9, just because it's ESCANOR focused. We got some confirmation about some stuff we thought but didn't know, and now right here, as I said, this part saying, okay, so now we know, okay, Rosa is not confirmed dead or alive. Okay, once again, I believe that she is most likely Sunshine. If not Sunshine, she's definitely someone relevant. She's either, once again, the Supreme Deity herself. I doubt that one. Or she's the Axe Rita or something like that. I'm still on the thing that she is Sunshine made human form. But if that's not the case, either way, that's still relevant information. And then the fact that we never knew, what happened to ESCANOR's kingdom. So is Leonis the old kingdom? Well, no, it can't be. So which is his kingdom? Is it another kingdom? Is it supposed to represent somewhere down south, in Wales? Was it Ireland? Was it Scotland? Was it even further? Was it closer? Was it a much older, smaller kingdom? But no matter what, it has fallen. Was it even in Britannia? We don't know. And so I still want more, but yeah, now we know ESCANOR's kingdom's gone. There's no kingdom for him to return to anymore. And where was it? And what happened to it? So much to go down. So much information. Did ESCANOR himself destroy it? Did he become the one involuntarily and end up destroying his kingdom? Similar to a Meliodas Den, for instance. It's hard to know. I doubt that, but it's possible because we don't know. And yeah, so guys, just the information given between the answer question and the cover page, and just a little bit of stuff here and there, makes this chapter really good for me. I understand some people think it's a little boring. It was just they fight, but this is a fighting chapter. We have fights now, Meliodas and Elizabeth going up against Demon King, the rest of the Sins fighting Endora, and ESCANOR and the trio fighting a baby Endora, which is more their speed right now for the power level they're at. So these chapters are mostly going to be they fight. Like, at the end of the day, like if you're writing down a movie script, you know, you don't say, okay, this person swings horizontally, does this, does that. That's for the choreographers, or however you say that. You know, the people that choreograph the whole fight and stuff. And okay, we end up somehow we got to break this wall, so punch him through the wall, kick him through the wall. That's not for the writing staff to decide unless it's very relevant. They just, a lot of the time, if you ever read a script, they go, they fight. Now, after the fight, here's the end result. They know the end result for the next lines. Or they might write some lines during said fight, but it's they fight, here's the lines during the fight, here's the end result of the fight. It's very simple, right? So, manga, we're going to see it, but it's still going to be fighting chapters. There's not going to be a whole lot of super intrigue. But once again, cover page and question did a lot for me. So, that's the end of my very long review. What did you guys think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, it's always very much appreciated. This has been Griever with your Behind the Bar reviews for Chapter 316 of 7 Deadly Sins, also known as Nanatsu no Taizai. As always, guys, drink responsibly. We'll see you back here next time, ladies and gentlemen.